Let us enter into worship with words by Andrea Hawkins Camper. Blessed are we who gather with open hearts together in this space today. Blessed are we, the chalice lighters of resistance, justice, love, and faith. Blessed are we, the heretics, the outcasts, the walkers of our own way. Blessed are we, the border crossers, the refugees, the immigrants, the poor, the wanderers who are not lost. Blessed are we, the transgressors, the trespassers, the passers-by, the cause takers, the defiant. Blessed are we, the hand extenders, the sign makers, the protesters, the protectors. Blessed are we, the trans women, the trans men, the non-binary, the cisgender, the multi-gender, the no-gender. Blessed are we, the friend, the stranger, the lonely, the hidden, the visible, the authentic. Blessed are we who rise in solidarity. Blessed are we who cannot. Blessed are we for this beloved community and who we are. Come, let us worship together. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit to join our voices in our opening hymn, Wake Now My Senses, number 298 in the gray hymnal.
This flame burns for the courage we find when fear makes sense. Not the absence of doubt, but the choice to act anyway. We light it for those who speak when silence feels safer, and those who act when invisibility beckons.
It is now time for our story for all ages. I was wondering if there's anyone who might want to come up front and sit with me while we read the story. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. You ready to hear a story?
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to take a seat? Yeah. All right. What was that? Oh, dance sitting. Chris is sitting, Ostara is sitting. We've got a whole gang today. Wonderful. Wonderful. All right. I invite all of you to gather round as we hear a special story called Sometimes People March by Tessa Allen. Sometimes ants march. Sometimes bands march. Sometimes people march. Marching is something people do together when they want to resist injustice or when they see the need for change. People march for many reasons. People march for things they care about and people they love. Sometimes people carry signs to share the stories of resistance. And we have some signs down here. Act up, fight back. We will love and protect each other. Refugees are welcome here. I am a man. Black Lives Matter. People resist in many ways. Sometimes people resist with their voices. They might resist with words, or songs, or art. People resist with meetings. They resist by standing up, or sitting down, or taking a knee. It isn't always easy. Feet get tired, arms get tired, hearts and hopes get tired. Sometimes problems seem too big or complex. But we do not march alone. Ants are stronger together. Bands are louder together. People are more powerful together. Sometimes from feelings of fear or anger or injustice, comes the hope for change. Sometimes great change starts small with a brave question. Maybe your question, a question that calls people together. And together we find the courage to march. Thanks for listening. Please remain seated for our prayer hymn, Building Bridges, number 1023 in the teal hymnal. Dear ones, we pause this morning in a moment of silence for Renee Nicole Good, for all of those tormented by ICE, for those who have lost their lives, for Venezuela, for the threats on democracy, for rising authoritarianism, for all that weighs on our hearts and souls as anger, fear, unchecked power, and detrimental violence become all the more pervasive. In this moment, we pause. As we come out of the silence, I light a candle for Renee Nicole Good, for the detrimental loss of an innocent life. I light a candle for her children, family, and friends that are left with a gaping hole in their hearts. May her blessed memories bring but a piece of solace to all of those who she left behind. May she rest in peace. In the silence that follows the spoken prayer, you are invited to come forward and light a candle for any joys or concerns that you hold in your heart this morning. Spirit of love and light, source of all that is, In these times when our hearts are broken and our spirits are angry and fearful, when our minds are calling us to act, we turn to you, divine essence, for strength, perseverance, guidance, hope. In this moment, we hold up the victims of xenophobia and racism, holding in loving embrace those who are afraid to leave their homes, those who live in detrimental fear. May we cultivate the power within to make a change, the faith to know that a better world is possible. Blessed are the many ways we resist. Blessed are those who march, who organize, who share their resources. Blessed are those who volunteer, who vote, who pray. May we find guidance both within us and around us. May we be seekers of faith, hope, and love. As we grieve and as we rage, may we work to build beloved community, creating a just, equitable, and compassionate world together, granting love and safety to the least of those among us, each blessed and broken soul woven into our interdependent web. May it be so, and amen. light a candle for the joys and concerns of those beloveds joining us virtually. And I light a candle for all else that we hold in our hearts and our minds this morning. If your heart is hurting, know that your community is here to help, as am I. Please reach out with any needs.
Our invitation to offering is by Joe Von Roo. In our world, many voices are silenced. Many truths remain unspoken because the speaker fears rejection, judgment, or worse. Our financial offerings today help sustain this congregation as a place where all voices can be heard, where truth can be spoken without fear, where vulnerability is met with compassion. We give in gratitude for this beloved community and with hope for a world where more voices can speak their truth. For those of you watching the service online, you may contribute to a virtual offering plate using the donate button on our website or by mailing a check to the church office. I invite the ushers forward to receive the offering. For all that you give and all that you do for our church and its wider concerns, we give thanks. I now invite Jim Caldiero forward to introduce this month's special collection.
Good morning. Say what you will about the nation's founders, they had, fortunately, the wisdom to create a federal republic, with each state retaining its sovereignty and powers not granted to the national government. This foresight, now, in the face of an assault on our rights by that government, may turn out to be the wise decision that will save our democracy. UUs have known this for 25 years, when Dr. Charlie Clements, president of the UU Service Committee, recognized that our UU influence at the national level under George W. Bush would be lessened. Clements and the Service Committee proceeded to organize and fund state action networks to ensure that our UU values were reflected in statewide public policies, from New York to California, including Maryland, and our UU Legislative Ministry. In 3 days, the Maryland General Assembly will convene in Annapolis. Our UU Legislative Ministry of Maryland will be there to help UUs across the state, all 4,000 of us and 26 congregations, to influence policies on climate and environmental protection, on gun violence prevention, on protecting our immigrant neighbors, on affordable health care access, including reproductive rights and the rights of the LGBTQ community. The current national administration, Congress, the Supreme Court have presented a challenge far greater than we could have ever imagined. We must preserve the advancements that we've made in healthcare, the environment, gun violence prevention, protecting our immigrant and LGBTQ communities. We must continue to strengthen our UU voice as a strong, liberal faith that puts into action our beliefs that justice, equity, and compassion are at the core of the rights of humankind. As David said last week, you didn't think I was listening. In 1 Corinthians, and now these three remain: faith, hope, and charity. But the greatest of these is charity. And your charity, your generosity, to advance justice, equity, compassion, and love, and to resist fear and hate in our state is greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Free from
From Timothy Snyder on rules for effective resistance. It's okay to take a little step, so long as it's something you know something about, do with other people, do regularly, and it makes you a little bit uncomfortable. If it meets those criteria, then you're helping democracy. Hear the words of Abraham Heschel. The prophet's word is a scream in the night. While the world is at ease and asleep, the prophet feels the blast from heaven. The prophet faces a coalition of callousness and established authority and undertakes to stop a mighty stream with mere words. The purpose of prophecy is to conquer callousness, to change the inner person, as well as to revolutionize history. The prophets remind us of the moral state of a people. Few are guilty, but all are responsible. I invite you to rise in body or spirit to join our voices in hymn 34, Though I May Speak with Bravest Fire.
Our reflection begins with a Greek mythological tale. Hercules, a demigod known for his superhuman feats, was tasked with killing a beast called Hydra. Hydra's blood and breath were so virulent that any contact was deadly. Most unique to this monster was her many heads, 9 hideous and dangerous heads in total. And in this gruesome fight, each time Hercules cuts one off, 2 more grew in its place. Killing this beast seemed nearly insurmountable. In time, Hercules enlisted the help of his nephew, and together they worked to destroy the monster. Lessons gained from this ancient tale are abundant. Hydra was, to quote Reverend Cecilia Kingman, an evil that cannot be overcome by a single effort. We kill the beast by acting together. We act on all fronts, remembering that myriad heads grow from one single body. Xenophobia, racism, fascism, homophobia, and that each one of these societal ills offers its own evil, its own hydra, with multiple heads, of which each must be swiftly removed. This month's worship theme is resistance, and today we focus on tyranny and our collective response. Tyranny is an unchecked use of absolute power. It is cruel, oppressive, and unjust. There is a dangerous disregard of laws and individual rights for the benefits of those in power. This essentially becomes a detrimental and unrestrained use of authority. We are called to remove each individual facet of fascism, each head of the hydra, to overcome these dangerous powers and work to cultivate a more just, equitable, and loving society. These acts of defiance are grounded in our faith and our values as Unitarian Universalists. In this climate, we cannot celebrate and honor our interdependence. Some of our beloveds are detained by ICE as others grow in unjust power and wealth. We cannot practice pluralism if differences in culture or experience lead to unjust and detrimental violence. Our value of transformation feels thwarted. Instead of encouraging personal and societal growth, we see a dangerous abundance of power, violence, bigotry, and greed. As a people of faith, we are called towards generosity as we cultivate a culture of gratitude, hope, and compassion in both our lives and in our actions. We are called to practice justice, to build a diverse and beloved community where all are welcome. We are called to practice love. So may each of our actions be grounded in this liberal faith tradition. May we be intentional, brave, just, and courageous. This poses a fundamental, powerful, and necessary question. What can I do? What can I possibly do? How can I live my values and work to counter the horrors of fascism and tyranny? This past month, we brainstormed just that in our Justice and Action Circle, a topic apropos to the moment we find ourselves in. As an introduction to this discussion, we were introduced to the book On Tyranny by Timothy Snyder. It is an ambitious book, highlighting a total of 20 ways to combat tyranny. I offer but a few. First, Snyder offers, be aware. There are mistaken assumptions that if a ruler comes to power through trusted institutions, that this ruler cannot change or destroy these institutions. Does this narrative sound familiar? We see the antithesis of this narrative nearly each day on our news feeds. Our political systems are deteriorating through a direct use of power. So, defend institutions. Find an institution that is of importance to you, a newspaper, a law, a labor union, and support that with zeal. Embody our power, our value of love as a powerful force that holds our community together. Second, be aware of a one-party state. Those in power who suppress their rivals were not inherently all-powerful or omnipotent. This grows as the party grows. Power grows exponentially. So, support the two-party system, defend the rules of democracy, vote, engage in local politics, transform the world through a defiance to being silenced. Live our value of generosity as our voices join in a powerful chorus of hope and action that serves as a catalyst to true and lasting change. Next, he offers, investigate, do research, figure out what is real and what is fake, take time with longer articles, support investigative journalism by subscribing to print media, discern what is true and what is produced to create harm and division, educate oneself on what propaganda is, and be intentional in what we share with others. Embody pluralism. Seek to engage with those in your midst and learn from one another in a search for truth. Finally, be active with good causes and life-giving organizations. Express your faith and values and your own view of life. Donate, volunteer, engage, support. Use your passions as a catalyst towards a society that embodies love and justice and equity. Whether you focus on immigration, gun control, transgender rights, bodily autonomy, take the next best step to create a difference. In choosing when and how to act, we make a free and autonomous decision that supports a just community and directly helps the aching in our midst. Jewish theologian and philosopher Abraham Heschel writes of the act of a prophet. It is the prophet who screams amidst the shadows and the darkness, who feels the powerful force from all that is sacred when others are detached and at ease, who raises their voice during silent complacency. It is the prophet who counters callousness with simple and profound words. Prophets act to change inner personhood of those in our midst through words and actions of justice, equality, faith, and love. They act to revolutionize history, to dramatically alter what seems surmountable and inevitable, rewriting the narrative of our country. It is the prophet who says, quote, "Few are guilty, but all are responsible." Most of us have not directly contributed to the rise of tyranny and fascism. Many are simply quiet observers. Yet, though we did not cause the state of the world, we are each deeply responsible to change it, to enact all of those values we touched upon, to work with intention to cut off the heads of Hydra so that together we work to kill the beast. We can each embody the teachings of a prophet. In doing my research, I was directed towards an article entitled "The Rise of End-Time Fascism." End-time fascism is a tactic of rulers predicting a threatening, menacing, and despondent future. They use this fear they cultivate to establish authoritarian rule by promising a new and blessed future for a chosen few. They gain immense power in the process. Authors Naomi Klein and Astra Taylor writes that we are directly facing this ideology which has given up on liberal democracy. This has given up on a beautiful future of a shared world of people, nature, wonder, diversity. This is a dangerous, apocalyptic narrative that we need to rewrite with a better, life-giving story. A story of surviving difficult times by joining together, of surviving hardship without leaving anyone behind, of carrying with us the most vulnerable. Not of, quote, end times, but of better times. When a future of separation and supremacy is depicted, we counter it with one of interdependence and belonging. This bright and beautiful imagined world faces its own apocalypse, but a drastically different one. This apocalypse makes surviving and thriving possible because we have put an end to other versions of the world. We join together to counter tyranny, fascism, and their many pervasive societal ills. In order to survive, life-taking versions of this world need to end. We hold the potential for a more just, equitable, and compassionate society. We cannot let others inundate us with fear that scares us away from this blessed possibility. Between Christmas and New Year's, I spent several days at a Quaker retreat center. I joined a group of individuals on a shared journey of faith and renewal. Through myriad conversations on grief, personal reflection, and transformation, a theme arose: the political state of our country and the world. Anxiety, fear, trepidation, and anger poured from the hearts of this community. While holding these emotions, each morning we engaged in ritual. To ground us in purpose, we placed a post-it on a wall with a sentence or two about our intentions. The wall grew and flourished throughout our days together. On the last morning of the retreat, we were asked to approach the wall and select an intention that we wanted to embody. Many stood out to me while scanning the wall: cultivate calm, practice self-care, or pause in nature. But one immediately grabbed my attention, quote, "Remember, heaven is here." We need this reminder not to wallow in these political and societal ills that feel overwhelming and insurmountable. With each action, there is hope, there is resistance, there is potential, there is change. There is the promise of beloved community. The society we intentionally build together of love and faith and equity and interdependence, this is heaven. So, do not give up. Do not stop acting. We can each influence society. Even amidst the growing fascist administration, even amidst the injustice we see to immigrants and American citizens, even amidst the hatred spewed in our media, we can still live our day with joyful moments. Even in our resistance, we still have to live, to be there for loved ones, to work, to create, to tend our homes and communities. We cannot lose ourselves while fighting the Hydra. We cannot let heaven on earth, not let hell on earth consume our heaven. So, let us focus on this, the next best thing. Quote, "Fascism thrives when good people hesitate. Democracy strengthens when good people act." Action is an antidote to where we are as a country. Fascism depends on people getting fatigued in the fight and giving up in the process, becoming complacent observers no matter how angry or fearful they may be. The more we pull away in exhaustion, the more we wait, the stronger authoritarianism becomes. Act now, in this moment, no matter how imperfectly. Act even if we do not or cannot know the answers. Even if we do not have a clear leader. Move forward with courage and be persistent. Quote, "Ordinary people make extraordinary commitments in ordinary ways." Be that teacher who speaks up at a board meeting to protect LGBTQIA+ students. Raise bail funds for protesters. Open your home for organizing meetings. Attend city council meetings. March canvass, volunteer, vote. Do the next best thing over and over and over again. Do not give up. Act for a blessed and beautiful future. This is what makes a movement. So, beloveds, ours is a faith of love, and it is a faith of action. It is a faith of good people held in the loving embrace of an entity, an embrace of a loving entity, of interdependence and pluralism and transformation, of justice and generosity. Through the values of our faith, tyranny and fascism cannot survive because our basic tenets counter every aspect of these social maladies. We are called to embody the love of all that is sacred and holy, to do the next best thing. We are called to promote that future of diversity, beauty, people, and divinity. Our faith calls for us to act because we are all interconnected. Until all of us are free, none of us are free. We act because we celebrate diversity in cultures and experiences and theologies. We do not use it as a catalyst for fear or hate. Because beloved community is our goal. Because we want to transform the world into one of growth, not regression or stagnation. We know what we need to do, even if we do not have all the answers. Even if perfection will always evade us. We need to act now, courting the rise of that which seeks to destroy us. Hydra is raising, her menacing, many heads poised to attack, growing stronger in the process. So, we call upon one another, just as Hercules called upon his nephew, and together we attack the beast. We strike, as a society, many facets simultaneously. We do this until, through perseverance and commitment, she weakens. We overwhelm her and she retreats. That is what we are building today. A future where resistance works to destroy the beast, and a brighter, better future is possible. May it be so, and amen. Please rise and body your spirit to join our voices in hymn number 121 in the gray hymnal, We'll Build a Land.
We'll
the many-headed beast, as the tenets of our liberal faith serve to guide us. May we work for a just, equitable, and compassionate world where peace, hope, and faith are promised, and strength and determination towards a better society prevail. May we heal, may we persevere, may we love, may we thrive. Go in peace, and amen.
I'm afraid